Hello, my name is Miss Garner, and I'm excited to get to introduce today's episode of Voices of Elliott, a podcast created by students at Dodia's Elliott Elementary School to share all kinds of interesting information, ideas, and stories. On today's episode, Mauricio, Adeline, Isaiah, and Emery return to the studio to interview Elliott's interim principal, Mrs. Morris. We hope you will enjoy getting to know Miss Morris as much as we have here at our school. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and turn the podcast over to a few of our talented egrets.
My name is Isaiah. I have the first question. Can you tell us about your job?
I can, Isaiah. My job is being the principal of the school. So I get the cool privilege to meet every student, a lot of our families, and our teachers. And so my job is really about making sure that teaching and learning happens in our building. And it does, right? We have excellent teachers and we have amazing students. And it's also important for the principal to keep the building and the grounds safe, right? So we just opened a new playground for everybody to play on. We made sure that all the debris was cleaned up from the storm, right? So we make sure that our buses come on time and leave on time. So it's kind of a big job, but it's a fun job too. Thank you.
My name's Emerald. Who was your favorite teacher? What made them special?
Emery, thank you for that question. I have to, in this setting, being here, in a pre-K2 school, it really reminds me of my kindergarten teacher, Miss Stanley. And she was so, so special. We sang every day. We did dances every day. We read. We did a lot of crafts that were related to the curriculum. So my mom kept a craft that we did about President's Day, okay? And so we learned, I think it's in the month of February that we have President's Day, and we learned about George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. And so do you know who is on our pennies? Do you know what president is on our pennies? Which one? Abraham Lincoln, right. So we did this little craft to where we made like a red, white, and blue, really square, and then we glued a penny into it. And so my mom kept that and she put it next to my kindergarten photo. So when we looked at a photo album, I don't know what that is, but old school days, they would print pictures out. And so it's there. And it's just such a nice reminder of a really, really happy time. She had a great classroom environment. We were such a strong community of learners, and she just made learning a lot of fun. So I really think about Miss Stanley a lot.
Hello, my name is Mauricio, and I have the third question. What cool technology do you think we will use in our classroom in the future?
Wow, that's a great question, Mauricio. I'm not sure. There's so many great things that we have right now. Am I right? So everybody has a Chromebook, and we're here doing a podcast so we can record ourselves. I think if I had to go into the future, we might have something to where maybe we could put a headset on, and what we thought was maybe on paper or on the computer. What do you think about that? So instead of me having to write everything down or type, I could just think it and it would appear, and then I could edit it. What do you think about that? Maybe.
Adeline, and I have the fourth question. What is your favorite book or story from when you were a kid?
Wow. Gosh, that's a great question too. You guys are so amazing with your thoughtful questions. So many great books, and so many books I'm not exactly sure that you have in your library anymore. Have you ever heard this book called Harry the Dirty Dog? You have? Okay, so you know that story. So he is a dog that gets away and he runs around to the streets of New York, and he comes back and he's dirty and they don't recognize him anymore. I thought that was really, really funny as a kid, and I had a dog, and it also made me like afraid because I didn't want my dog to get away and come back to where I might not recognize him. So every day I needed to make sure that, he was either in the house or in the fence. I also loved Charlotte's Web. Do you like that? Love all the stories by Evie White. I absolutely love those. But one that's also a favorite of mine that I shared with my son when he was little was The Giving Tree. I cannot read that book without crying, even today. So we're not going to read it today because it always brings tears to my eyes because it is such a loving story, about friendship and about giving of oneself. So those are probably some of my favorite.
What do you have for our students today?
Wow, what advice do I have for our students today? Our school is really, really blessed to have incredible, kind, loving learners. And I think that that's probably my best advice is that we would continue to be good citizens to each other, to be kind and caring to one another, to be thoughtful about our environment, and just to be really, really curious about everything the world brings at us every single day. Because that curiosity brings learning, and learning brings new knowledge, and new knowledge brings new experiences and opportunities. So that's really probably my best advice.
Thank you for talking and listening.
Well, it was my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Wow. Thank you, Mauricio, Adeline, Isaiah, and Emery. I really appreciate you all taking the time to help us get to know Ms. Morris a little bit better. And thank you to Ms. Morris for taking time out of your busy schedule to meet with our egrets. Listeners, we hope you enjoyed this special interview as well, and we hope you will join us the next time our egrets have something new and exciting to share on Voices of Elliott.